Wait until you see Rachel Reeves, yes, a shocked Rachel, if you think Kia stars are lousy at interviews. As Labour's lies are exposed in today's video, Reeves is brutally demolished by an interviewer on live TV. After watching React, we'll go through all of the most recent news from across the nation, but first click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and join our rapidly expanding community. Without further ado, let's watch Rachel Reeves' interview about a car crash. We did need to raise taxes in this budget to put our public finances on sound TR of taxes. It's the biggest tax-raising budget since 1993. It's gigantic, and you said before the election no plans to raise taxes or the pre-ed beyond the $8 billion that you had earmarked. So a lot of people out there are going to be quite shocked today. Well, in the decisions that we've made in the budget today, I accept this isn't a big and a substantial budget. It wasn't the budget, it was the budget them. It wasn't the budget that I was expecting to deliver when I became Chancellor on the 5th of July. I didn't think that any government would be so reckless to have £22 billion, £40 billion. I absolutely recognize that in our manifesto we had commitments of £8.5 billion. In addition, as I said, there's a £22 billion black hole, which even if you accept the £22 billion black hole, $8 billion of that is because you decided to settle public sector pay disputes. Are you telling me seriously that you did not have inland before the general election, that you might have to find billions of pounds to settle those pay disputes? And why didn't you level with the British public about that? The previous government set the remit for the pay review bodies, the independent pay review bodies, and astonishingly, and we did not know this, and you did not know this either, they hadn't set an affordability CR criteria for the pay review bodies. These were inherited pressures that the previous government, W. Street in, repeatedly told me before the general election. When I kept telling him that the NHS would require more funding, he kept saying that funding is not the answer and that we will get it through growth. You have just announced £22.6 billion in additional daily spending for the NHS, and the British people will see through this. You simply weren't straight with them. During the general election campaign, you announced that there would be an immediate injection of cash. It was millions of pounds, which you had cost £22.6 billion. Communication. Are you genuinely claiming that the policies you unveiled today, tens of billions of pounds in more spending and tens of billions of pounds in taxes, have a democratic mandate? Rises, none of which are included in this document. You have a democratic mandate for this. The first line of our manifesto's first step stated that the most crucial thing I must do as Chancellor is to restore economic stability, and we do have a mandate to do so. I believe that many people will believe that they voted for you and that you have just implemented the largest tax and spending plan in decades, which is not what they agreed to. As Chancellor of the former Cheer, I had to decide whether to be open about the possibility that the public may feel deceived, even if you have provided an explanation. I believe that the public is aware of the state of the economy, the state of our public services, and the damage done to our public finances by the previous government. I believe that people may feel that you have betraying their trust, and that the first commitment we made was to restore stability to the economy. If I had to cover everything up, would not have been able to restore the stability that the previous government had abandoned. Mortgage. What will it be at the end of this Parliament following your budget? In your manifesto, you blame the Conservatives for raising taxes to a 70-year high. I'm being really honest with people. The tax burden has increased overall, but we've made decisions that acknowledge that it's the highest burden of taxes, even though the percentage of GDP against 36.4% is something you've been very critical of. The Conservatives have raised the tax burden, and we're going to make sure that working people's taxes are kept as low as possible. We're also not going to raise basic, high, or additional rates of income tax or VAT, and employers are paying £25 billion in taxes on national insurance. It's a broken manifesto, pled. What were your thoughts on the budget and this car crash interview? Let me know in the comments. In some other news, Defense Secretary John Healey was seen walking towards number 10 without a poppy on his lapel today while attending a pre-budget cabinet meeting. A news channel reported that the Defense Secretary had changed his jacket to one without a poppy just before a meeting at Downing Street, but Healey's morning wardrobe change came at a momentous occasion. Time ahead of Labour's first budget in 14 years. It also followed the signing of a new defence agreement between Britain and in Germany a week ago. Back then Healey had smiled as he shook hands with German counterpart Boris Pistorius at London's Trinity House wearing the symbol of remembrance. As he did so 3 days later he sat down with veterans at the poppy factory in Richmond upon Thames, with whom he was pictured making a poppy wreath. He said, "Every November the nation unites in remembrance of those who gave their lives to defend the freedoms we enjoy today. I'm proud that members of our armed forces will be at the forefront of commemorations at the Senate across the UK and on operations around the world. Organizations like the Poppy Factory show that remembrance makes an impact all year round, supporting the veterans community and recognizing their service and sacrifice." Yesterday he encouraged everyone to support the local Poppy appeal and pay tribute to those who serve as he unveiled two Poppy buses in his Raw Marsh and Conisborough constituency. But still Healey smiled as he arrived at number 10 this morning without the symbol, though later emerged from the Prime Minister's residence having bought a new one inside. A source close to the Defence Secretary told in an interview the Defence Secretary had changed his jacket just before a meeting and bought a new Poppy as soon as he arrived at number 10. As he stated during his visit to the Poppy factory last week, the shadowed Defence Secretary had already been assisting with the installation of poppies on lampposts in Raw Marsh and Ravenfield and had been out selling the pins with the Royal British Legion in WTH, demonstrating his profound respect for our armed forces and all those who have given their all to defend our nation. The source also mentioned that tomorrow, to commemorate London Poppy Day, he will be selling poppies alongside the Royal British Legion. What do you think of the topics we covered in today's video? If you haven't already, please make sure to like this video. For more British political content, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you, and goodbye.